Welcome back to the Red Bull Analyst Desk in this game between game 2 and game 3 break of our best of 5 grand finals here in the Canadian Esports Championship Series. Gentlemen, what a game. Again, Bar taking it this time. Stefano, I'm going to throw this to you, and Kept and Kang, you guys can follow up if you'd like. We were discussing the bot lane of GFG and what GFG should have done to play around them a little differently to maybe secure that win for them.
Right. So I think the biggest thing for GFG was their comp was first of all just really weird. With as kept eloquently put it, he's something trolling, picking the Zac there. It doesn't really synergize well with Lulu Kog'Maw. They weren't able to help Zac. Zac in fact wasn't able to help bot lane much in response, and that was their win condition. Was the Kog'Maw Lulu? They lost or they had they had an advantage in the top side lane, but not enough. Like Set isn't going to carry against a Scion unless he gets really far ahead. And Arch was doing so well against Sierras, they really needed to focus focus a lot more top lane. They needed to put more TPs in, put more roams in from Sierras, put more ganks in from Schwark. Like Nocturne was ulting the poor Kog'Maw Lulu on cooldown. Arch roamed like 2 or 3 times. Bar was able to identify how they could win this game, and that was shutting down this Lulu Kog'Maw, and they did it so proficiently. Unfortunately, GFG couldn't identify how they lost the game. As a result, they did very quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. And just touching on the you were talking about Arch and Sirius. We have Kept here, the mid lane expert. That matchup, were you a little surprised that the Akali did so well versus the Syndra early game?
Yeah, I mean, Akali, obviously, she can survive lanes with Doran's Ring, Second Win, and Fleet Footwork just for extra sustain. I think Syndra should be winning a lot harder into the Akali early. But honestly, man, like, Arch has really surprised me. The dude is a monster. Like, from what I'm watching right now, he is just crazy. And I know we were talking about this during the game, and it kind of did set up the win. Was basically that dive bottom where he was just playing mental games with that Syndra. He burnt his flash without using any abilities. He burnt his Zanyas without using any abilities. As soon as that happens, the Zohair comes in and dives, right? So that mid jungle duo has been such a bright spot for this team. And I think if they can continue to do that, get Kingsland on another aggressive support, I think they're gonna have no problem being able to win the next couple of games. So definitely need to revise a little bit of their draft. Maybe put something serious on something more comfortable where he doesn't need to win early, because Syndra has to win early into the Akali for it to make any sort of impact in the game. Because Akali will eventually outscale, and then like Kang was mentioning, or sorry, like Stefan was mentioning, eventually what's going to happen is if you don't pressure those lanes and Zac isn't able to get some sort of help, it's just going to be Nocturne and Akali diving bot over and over.
Yeah, and that's nasty. Like the Lulu can stop one assassin. Really tough to stop two, especially when what Stefano had mentioned, your Set and your Zac are jumping in. There's no one left there to peel other than the Lulu, really. So I did want to talk about. You mentioned a Kingsland going on aggressive supports. Overall, Kingsland this week is doing things that he wasn't doing last week. Last week he wasn't roaming really at all. This week he's been a pretty big presence with the roaming, with the Nautilus especially in this last game. Very noticeable roaming up to the mid lane to keep that snowball going. But Kang, I'm going to throw this to you because you are a resident ADC, a bot lane expert. Let's talk about positioning for Kog'Maw.
Uh, so Kog'Maw has a really unique ability in his W where it not only increases his damage, right? I think that's what everybody knows, but it also increases his range. So you have to be able to use it in a way where when you're using it, you're able to pump out as much damage as possible. I think something that people don't really think about is when you're in range for your normal auto attack, you're also in range um for your empowered auto attack. So I think that starting off with your regular auto attack, if it's safe enough, of course. I don't want you to face check into 5 people with short range, but getting that lethal tempo off at the same time as your W is going to be really important. if you want to hard carry team fights rather than starting off with W when you don't have lethal tempo up. And I think that Kog'Maw is one of those champions that isn't hard to play on paper because he's a higher range, you just right click, but in game, you have to be on point with your positioning. If you take a misstep at any point in the game, Nocturne's on your butt, and Akali's just deleting you from the game. So I think just visualizing Kog'Maw's different ranges and being able to position in a way where you're both safe and dealing damage. Actually, I think that that's kind of a myth. I think that in order to deal damage, you have to take some sort of risk in your positioning in order to get that damage out. But you have to choose when you want to take that risk. Obviously, if cooldowns are up on Akali or Nocturne, you're probably going to want to play a little bit safer. But once you see those cooldowns, you can play more aggressive and try to be a little bit more greedy so that you can get more damage off. But
Yeah, and the
yeah.
again, props to Arch, I think, in this game again, because he was flanking really well, getting in position where he could get on the Kog'Maw, which honestly we don't see a lot of good flanks in this league, I find. But I think that Arch was really on top of that, so made the position even more difficult for the Kog'Maw. Looks like we have a bit of a glitch going on with the draft again. It's
I
a
do have
little
a comment for
buggy
you guys
today.
first,
Yeah, go
real
ahead, man.
quick. All right, Kang, I'm gonna figure out if you're a fraud here. Okay. What
Yeah,
is?
but
Don't cheat. What is the ability? What is Kog'Maw's W ability called?
I know.
isn't it Bio Arcane Barrage? No,
Wow.
that's his alt,
That's his alt.
isn't it?
I'm pretty sure that's his W. No.
No, I think
That's
it's
his
W.
alt.
Maybe
Pretty
we're all
sure
frauds.
Bio Arcane Barrage is his alt.
I'm
His
pretty sure that's
W
his
is like
W.
A Cathian Rain is his W. I'm
no, what?
fairly certain. Then a
Cathian Rain
I'm
Cathian.
is
just kidding.
that's
No,
Kaisa,
Bio
isn't it?
Arcane
That's
Barrage is
Kaisa's.
his W.
That's
I can't.
Kaisa's.
Yeah, you guys are making me
Matt
doubt
Phil
myself.
knows.
I knew
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yo,
Well, thank you for exposing us to all the stream.
A Kythan Rain is Kaisa's Q.
Oh, you're totally right. Oh, we're in draft.
What? You guys are 80 carries. Okay.
I'm not.
Oh, I closed the draft. Sorry, that's my bad. I closed that one because I thought we were getting a new one, and Westgap happened, and we didn't get a new
Yeah.
one.
What's
It's okay. It's
All right,
you
everyone.
still have the link,
chat.
right?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, I got it. I
Okay,
got
okay,
it. Yeah,
okay,
we're all
okay.
good. We're all good. We
All
love
right,
West.
Westgap's
He's
in
great. He's
chat.
amazing. Most of the same bands coming out here, but we have a Kane band from GFG is a new one, I believe.
Yeah, that confuses me because I don't think Schwark or not Schwark. Excuse me. I don't know that Zohair plays a lot of Kane. And they haven't played in the series so far. But Lilia is going to be the first pick for Birds Aren't Real.
Okay. I'm actually pretty excited about this one. I think Lilia is one of those champions that not a lot of junglers in this league have played quite a bit of. And I think that she makes for pretty exciting plays, especially with the sleeps. So I'm excited to see how Bar are going to play around the Lilia.
Yeah, I think Lily is pretty good too. My only issue with this is just based off of what's been happening in game 1 and 2 is if Zohair and Arch have good matchups together, they're just dominating the map. So Lily is not one of those types of champions to be able to really make aggressive plays. She wants to invade and steal camps for sure. She wants to power farm, but it's kind of weird to me. I think that honestly they could have gone for something more aggressive. Honestly, return to that Nocturne would have been really, really good. You can flex it on the blue side. You can constantly dive if they want to pick more scaling for bot lane. And protect your mid laner because Arch honestly is my key X factor. After watching all of this, Arch is a monster. So I think they play around Arch and I think they'll win.
Yeah. We see even Xin Zhao picked up in response to Lilia. Xin Zhao does rather well into Lilia. He out skirmishes her at pretty much every point in the game, especially early. So if they bump into each other, that's almost for sure going to be a flash or a solo kill for the Xin Zhao. So interesting Lilia pick having not banned the Xin Zhao specifically is Ornn and Nara and Nautilus are the picks. Once again, putting Kingsland on Nautilus, I guess he's really liking how that champion's been working out.
Yeah, kind of too bad. I'm just personally, I always like to see his Thresh. Nautilus is, does some things the same. But yeah, it's really interesting to see him play it a lot because we were thinking that maybe it wasn't a champion that he played that much, and here he's going 3 times in a row. And GFG going with the Victor, Cirrus grabbing that Victor that Arch had in the first game, I believe I remember correctly. See if he can build correctly and do more damage early game.
Yeah, I mean, Orn Victor. I think GFG are gonna probably go for the same kind of comp. Once again, I was hoping they would kind of pivot more towards an early game, just because of the loss. But I mean, if they feel confident in their game plan, I see no reason to change it. I think a little couple tweaks here and there, and a little bit. Uh, if they clean up their play a bit more, I mean, there's definitely a world in where their scaling comps can shine. But it looks like Ash actually going to be locked in, which
So
changes things up.
GFG is going to pick Zillion as their support. I'm so confident on that. Ash Zillion is something that Boggs has just loved to run, and just Zillion in general is like I think Boggs like almost a one trick on that champion. So I'd be very surprised if it had come out. They're good. They're gonna have to draft an AD carry that's good into Ash Zillion, which is pretty hard to do. It can be a rather dominant lane, but it needs to be something that has a dash as opposed to just running at people.
Ooh.
Oh, and the
See-
Cassiopeia getting
I hope he
picked.
doesn't lock that in, man.
It is locked in.
It is locked
It is
in.
locked in.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
it's so bad. Like, it's so easy to itemize merc treads for the enemy team. And generally, like, look at all the CC and zone control they have. Like, how is Cassiopeia going to be able to team fight? I mean, they probably are still going to be able to, but personally, I think, like, getting Arch, I don't know, man.
Lucan? Is Lucan in this game?
Lucan?
Yeah,
No? Do it, hashtag do it for Lucan?
Yeah.
Zyra would.
Oh.
Zyra's a little bit of an interesting pick. You normally see Zyra into like really heavy disengage comps. There is some of that against with the Kai'Sa but it seems like a little bit of an overreach on how effective Zyra is going to be able to be.
Yeah.
Well, let's just talk really quickly because we want to keep these games going here. But I do want to get your guys' opinion now that we see this draft. Who comes out on top in this draft?
I mean, GFG for sure, man.
George Foreman,
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
I
sure.
mean, for me, is just a little bit more cohesive in my eyes. Just because a lot of the time, GFG are going to have a field day kiting with the Ash Zyra, especially if Bar try to go for this crazy Gnar engage. Like, I think that GFG just have a pretty good team fighting comp if they kite. And just, I think the matchups in general are just
Yeah.
better. I mean, I'm not, I really only know bot lane, but to
I
me,
mean, Nautilus struggles into Zara, right?
Yeah.
Her
Yeah.
plans
and
just
into
block your
Ash.
Q. Yeah, it's
Whenever,
really, really tough
whenever
to
I
play
play
that.
Ash into Nautilus, it's like, oh, I'm like,
It's really, really tough.
I'm
Tilting,
taking a
man.
nap the whole
It,
game.
it is. It is. I should say just specifically about the bot lane. It is rather volatile because obviously Nautilus does struggle into Zyra, but if Nautilus gets a hook, Zyra dies like 100% of the time. Like there's no universe
that's
where she
fair.
escapes.
Yeah.
So there is the potential for outplay, but I definitely do agree that Zyra Ash is going to give Nautilus the hardest of times, especially with a short range AD carry.
It's pretty impressive for him.
Well, we will see if George Foreman Grill can take the draft win and translate it into a game win, or if birds aren't real, can go up in the series 2-1 after a short break. Don't go anywhere.
And welcome back to game 3. We are now equalized. We are now even 1-1 when it comes to the scoreline. Bar versus GFG, of course. The compositions are a bit spiced up. They're definitely a little different. I don't know. We heard our analyst desk, of course, talk about it. Wes, tell me, what do you think about these compositions?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, Kept wanted the run back in game 2. The other analysts agreed, and I agreed as well. But now, like you said, BAR have switched it up, and it definitely is a lot of magic damage on this composition. It is very much reliant on, Arch and No Cap being able to find play team fights that are going to end up really, really difficult for them positionally. On the other hand, Swark on that Xin Zhao, who's looked so strong already in game 1. And, I like GFG's draft. I think Ash Zyra I think is an amazing bot lane. Zyra is a champion I really like to play in the bot lane there. I think it's just such a good support and pretty much always has been. So GFG looking for Xin Zhao to maybe make a difference down there and to start that bot lane snowball.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I love GFG's bot lane pick there. The Ash Zyra. Ash is bit of my favorite as an AD carry main. I've played a lot of Ash, and she pairs really well with mages. And the Zyra, I feel like they thought this out quite a bit because the Zyra does counter the Nautilus. They knew that Kingsland was just going to go on it because he's pretty much picked it all the time. And the Zyra is a bit of a counter to the Nautilus, of course, as those plants block the hook. And then that Ash plays very well with it. And basically, the way that you play this lane is as long as you don't get hooked, you win. It's really that easy. There's pretty much no way that you lose extended fights because Kai'Sa, once that she pops that Hail of Blades, she pretty much doesn't have that much damage anymore. As we see now, they're just kind of looks like Bar's bot lane is actually going to get the level 2 first.
Yeah, backing off.
That's a good dodge there from Zizzers. Going to manage to dodge on that hook. Very crucial there. It's, as an Ashe, of course, the only way that you lose this lane is if you get hooked. You don't get hooked, you win the lane. So,
yeah,
good on Zizzers there.
Like you said, the as Kang said as well, Ashe up against Nautilus, you're kind of sleeping a little bit. So hopefully Zizzers can stay awake, keep that alarm clock up for when he reaches level 6 and wants to start engaging. But also, yeah, as long as they avoid those hooks, they're going to be fine down there. Jungle paths, once again, we are going to see a handshake most likely as the two junglers start on opposite sides with, you can see Zohair clearing out that red buff right now and then going to head down to the scuttle. So yeah, nothing much to report here about this early game in terms of rotations. There's the potential. We've seen Reese's Pieces overextend a couple of times in this game. There's definitely the potential Reese's could continue to do that as the Xin Zhao paths up there. But Nar's got some escape tools in his disposal as well. And as he gets this wave to crash, he's probably just going to be safe here.
Yeah, I mean, that is a very big minion wave. So as long as it crashes, you're going to be totally fine. And there's the only way that really Reese's Pieces dies is if Dirty Fell managed to hold the wave, freeze it, and then Sword comes in. But he's going to be fine. He's just going to hop over that wall. I can speak English, I swear.
Yeah. I've seen him do it, folks.
Yeah, I have experience in speaking English. As looks like this Lily is just going to full clear, actually, going for the Krugs, and most likely going to base after that one.
Yeah, not, like I said, nothing crazy happening just yet. First Dragon's going to be a mountain once again. Like you said before, last game, it's not the most highest value.
Okay, a Kingsland flashing in. Completely misses the hook, though, and now Bog and Zizzers, they're slowed by the Lilia Seed, but they don't have the damage. I mean, the W is good, and it lands onto Bog. It procs the Plasma, but it's not enough as the Miasma comes down, but so does the Gravity Field, and now Arch and Cirrus just trading pretty much evenly here. And it looks like Cirrus will actually take the better of that trade with that last laser. And Arch is just going to, not Arch, Zohair is going to back off. Arch and Zohair for some reason swapped out.
Oh yeah, Zohair ended up in the mid lane position when we made the lobby, so we'll get that switched out ASAP. Nice. But yeah, that Kingsland flash definitely going to benefit GFG. That Nautilus flash being down, still a little bit of a CS lead coming in for no cap, but yeah, GFG. Going to be totally fine with that. And actually, they might be in a bit of danger here.
Ooh, good W there from Swark. He managed to spot them out, so they're just going to run away. No cap on the gap. He still has the flash. Reese's Pieces actually still fighting here. Okay, it looks like a Kingsland had to expand the heal, actually.
Yep.
It looks like a Kingsland and no cap on the gap really like having that heal exhaust combo.
Yeah, and on Kai'Sa, it makes sense maybe to have the exhaust if you're diving in.
Yeah.
It makes more sense than if you were playing, something like.
I feel like in this matchup, you need
Ash. yeah. Definitely does seem like the way to go, indeed, up against the likes of Ash Zyra. So yeah, the no cap. It's an interesting idea, but Kingsland has blown both of those summoner spells Either of them going to be up if there's another fight coming in. Swark could path back down to the bot lane if he wanted to right now, but it is pushing, so not likely to see that happening. Dragon is up as well, and the jungler of BAR is on the way.
Yeah, Zohair is here as the Swirling Sea doesn't hit. Bog has to kind of walk forward to dodge that out. But Dirty Phil, he's here. Is he actually going to find the Ornhorn? Oh, actually, Bog gets hooked and no cap, only gap survives with a sliver of health. Swark, you can see them. He's on the top side. He's trying to zone away Zohair in Kingsland. Reese's Species, he doesn't have the Mega Gnar yet, so he's going to have to flash out. Now, that is first blood going over to Bar, but it's on a Kingsland, not the person that you want to have that first blood on. And you give away the first dragon for it, as well as both Psalms up in the top lane. So even though the gold swings a little bit in your favor, I'm not sure that you really want that trade.
Yeah, GFG got a lot out of that, but Kingsland still kind of making up for that initial flash hook that missed, because he really snuck that one through the minions. Impressive timing there, and good aim from Kingsland, playing this Nautilus so well. So far in this series, expect those roams to come in. But yeah, like you said, the Dragon did go over to GFG. Summoner spell advantage for GFG in both top and bottom lane. And they are set up pretty nicely to keep taking these fights, but it's only a matter of time before you are able to line up that Ashe Zyra CC with a Xin Zhao gank. And BAR might be dead to rights if they don't play it very, very carefully. So we will see, if they're able to do it, because so far, BAR, they just seem to keep leveling up every game this series.
Yeah, absolutely. They are they are scaling into the series quite literally. As so we saw Bog just kind of look for a roam into mid lane, but he was spotted. Now everyone kind of chilling in their respective lanes. This mid matchup, Arch and Sirius are going a little bit even, but in favor of Arch for now in the CS department, which I think is to be expected at this point. I feel like we've seen Arch and Sirius battle it out quite a few times, and pretty much every single time Arch has out-CS'd Sirius as this bot lane gets pushed. And looks like, yeah, for now, both junglers are just content farming it out.
Looks like they are, and yeah, Arch with a bit of a CS lead, as you said. Reese's Pieces as well, pretty significant CS lead in the top lane. So up against the Ornn, you definitely do want to try to bully that Ornn out as the Gnar. Reese's Pieces actually tries to commit the ultimate, but nothing's going to come of that. So Dirty Phil away from that one, but still, look at that, 69-39. Reese's Pieces has a very, very nice lead up there.
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing to scoff at there. The Gnar, of course, having that range does make it very easy to deny creeps from the Ornn. Excuse me, I'm blanking out. Okay, it looks like we're looking for a gank at the bot lane again. The hook connects, and now Bog, he's in a very dangerous spot, and he's oh no, the last auto attack doesn't come through. What an incredible misplay, and that is so sad.
So much committed. Tragedy strikes in the BAR bot lane as, no cap definitely could have stepped up for one more auto safely. Kingsland also has the flash available that he could have used. That BAR got to be kicking themselves after that one. It does show that they're still at an advantage in that lane in terms of if Kingsland lands a hook there. But you hate to
Arch
see
here.
it. Arch running away.
He's in danger. He has the phase. No, he doesn't have the phase rush. He actually has Conquer. That's just Cassiopeia running fast because of her Q, I believe. So yeah, oh man, I am so sad. If I'm no cap, only gap right now, my mind just exploded. My mental just went boom because I didn't auto attack that one extra time. But yeah, we see how Bog, even if it is in theory a winning lane, if you get ganked enough times and if you get hooked enough times, you can still lose. But it's very hard. As Arch here, he might be in trouble. He uses the ultimate. He stuns a Sirius. He doesn't manage to skill check that. Oh, but the gravity field comes down, but it's not enough. And that is a solo bolo for Arch. Just absolutely skill checking there. Reese's Pieces is going to face check this bush, but he's going to be just fine. Woo! Solo bolo for Arch.
How does Arch have such fancy feet when his champion doesn't even have feet? Unreal there from Arch, dodging out everything and getting the damage down. And, the Cassiopeia pick was a bit criticized here, but if Arch is going to play it like that, it's hard to argue with. Huge CS lead and the solo kill comes in for the Cassiopeia. Very, very difficult to deal with this Cassiopeia, who will continue to scale pretty hard into the late game. So 2-0 in the kills for Birds Aren't Real, a 14,000 or 14,000, a 2,000 gold lead with GFG at 14,000. And the dragon up in a minute. That's going to be the Cloud Drake. So we are getting either an Infernal or an Ocean Soul here in this game. Definitely volatile. Lots to prioritize there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Either or are very good options for both teams. So these dragons are definitely going to be extremely important. As Zohair, again, he's looking bot lane. Zohair has basically put up a tent at this point, saying, I'm going to clear my full jungle top to bot every single time, and I'm going to visit bot lane every single time I'm done.
Yeah, well, he realizes that they've got a bit of a tough matchup down there. Ashe Zyra, so good into Nautilus Kai'Sa, unless you can constantly land hooks. And Kingsland's doing well in that, but you can't guarantee it. So Zohair babysitting down there a little bit. Also, of course, trying to get control of the bottom river to prepare for this dragon. Now that they know it's going to be Ocean or Infernal, Birds Aren't Real definitely increasing the priority that they're putting onto these dragon stacking situations here.
Absolutely, as Arch here, he gets slowed. But that's all there is to write home about. As for now, it looks like both teams are positioning around this dragon. Reese's Pieces should have his teleport in a bit. The Gnar actually comes through. That cooldown is going to be used, and the Mega Gnar will expire before the dragon. This might be a bit of an opportunity for GFG.
Both teleports up for the top laners, so yeah, they do want to go down there, but Dirty Phil has the ultimate and Reese's Pieces does not. So, like you said, that could affect the team fight if it does happen, and both of these teams seem interested here. They seem interested in this dragon. Zohair getting caught maybe, but he goes in.
Zohair, he's actually flashing in. He's going to use the Drowsy. The hook connects to Swark. Bog, he's in a dangerous position. He gets E'd one more time, and he is dead. Swark, he's actually surviving for very, very long, but he finally goes down. Dirty Phil, he's going to be taken down by Arch as well. Arch is flashing in. Look at this snake. It's going in so fast. And another E. That's a triple kill. The Fangs connect for a third kill of the game from Arch. And we were talking about like how questionable this Cassiopeia pick is, but it's doing some fancy tricks.
I'm done asking questions, and I'm ready to start taking names here, says Arch. Reese's Pieces, you can see, taking out Swark there as he got caught out. And, you know, back at the beginning of this fight, we saw as Arch, look at this long range. Oh, man, that's tragic.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Zohair with an amazing turnaround there, flashing in, trusting his teammates to follow up there, going in with the double sleep on the Lilia, and that secures them, both the team fight and the dragon. 6-0 for Birds Aren't Real, and they are just so in control of this early game here. And, yeah, once you start getting a Cassiopeia rolling like this, I mean, Arch, we knew that Arch was already kind of in that mood to take things into his own hands when he got put onto the Akali last game, and now it feels like he's just playing with his food.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Arch has been showing up absolutely massively in these games. And he's in a great spot to bring us to game 2 for Gia in favor of Bar, excuse me. He has that Leandry's already finished at 14 minutes, as well as a few components for that garage sale. But yeah, I mean, Arch is just so absolutely massive. He still has that teleport, and we're going to be looking at him in every team fight, because at this point in the game, he can absolutely hard carry team fights.
Yeah, absolutely. Arch is such a dangerous player. I've already said I think he's the best player in the entire league, and he is starting to prove me right in this series. That's for sure. He is our no-frills player to watch for BIR as well, so we will be keeping an eye on him either way. Swark, the other player to watch, back onto the Xin Zhao where he made so much impact. Hang on a sec. Arch has somebody caught.
Oh, he's just miasmid and he can't move. The poor Zyra there. You don't even have any mobility in your kit, but even if you did, you wouldn't be able to use it. So he's just going to die. Mispositioned there by Bog as Scissors here. He's in a 1v1 situation with Reese's Piece. He's not going to connect that boulder. He's going to be fine for now. But Bog, he's now on his third death of the game. Going to be pretty sad on that plant lady.
Yeah, I love the Zyra pick, but it just has not been working out, and it's because Kingsland has been doing so well on the Nautilus, just finding out every single hook he can, but there's an engagement here, Swark getting caught.
A Kingsland Swark, he is getting caught, he got hooked, he uses the ultimate, but it's not enough, and Zohair, he will take him down. A Kingsland again, the roams are really showing up, and when you're a Zyra, your roams aren't that potent as one of the Nautilus, and again, he gets slept, and oh boy, that is just tragic. as
Yep.
now it's 9-0 on the scoreboard.
Yeah, starting to
rough.
feel like almost getting close to a bit of a write-off for GFG as BAR with a great amount of scaling in their composition, a mega fed Cassiopeia on their side already 15 minutes in. It is very difficult to see sort of the pathway back to victory for GFG. Now they have a good team fight, they have ability to make picks, and that's exactly what they need to do, but BAR, they just seem to have settled into this series. They really do seem to be leveling up every single game in terms of their macro play and in terms of just their comfortability here in the grand finals. So BAR really, really terrifying at this point in the game and at this point in the series.
I'll tell you what I think they need to do. They need to group with their Ashe and find some picks with Arrow. That's pretty much what they need to do. And here we go. The Ornhorn comes through. No cap, only gap. He's going to have to flash that one, but use the Arrow. He's not going to use the inject. Oh, it is on cooldown, excuse me. As now Bog coming in with the ultimate, but Arch, again, he does so much damage. And that is just going to be Zizzers. He's falling apart. They had the right idea, but Enchanted Crystal Arrow was on cooldown.
It's so close. You can see it coming up off cooldown right now. But yeah, really unfortunate timing there and just a good play from No Cap flashing very early. I like that. And then just a teleport comes in. BAR make use of their stronger, item purchases right now. And 7-0-0 on the Cassiopeia is just out of control at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's... Kept was had a really great point when we were discussing these compositions during the break. Cassiopeia, he mentioned that Cassiopeia does really poorly into zone controlling champions because she doesn't have any mobility. She just kind of has to run into you. So if you have stuff like the Zyra and the Ashe, of course. But as I say, the Zizzers, he's in range of the Gnar, and both are stunned at the same time, but there's just not enough damage on the side of the Ashe. Zizzers, he uses the heal, and he just gets bouldered down, but Reese's Pieces now, he loses the Mega Gnar. Sirius, does he have the movement speed? No, he does not. They just let him go away, and now it's 11-0 in Bar's favor.
Yeah, and both games so far have been really, really close, so maybe we were due for a bit of a stomp, and that's what BAR are doing to GFG right now. GFG definitely need to do a bit of a mental reset after this game. They need to not let it affect them too much. Kingsland looking for the fight. As
we say that, Swerk goes into something that I cannot see how that would work out. So he has to flash over the wall and expend the ultimate as well, right as the dragon is coming up. So that's definitely not going to go over to the hands of GFG and Bar. They're now on their way to an Infernal Soul. And, if you get an Infernal Soul with this composition, I mean, honestly, they don't even need it. They're so far ahead at this point. 8k gold at 18 minutes is a lot of gold. I mean, it's very hard.
Yep. Yeah, it feels near impossible here to find some way to get back into this. Actually, oh, no, never mind. I saw the wrong thing there. Thought he popped the ultimate, but obviously he wouldn't do that. No objectives available on the map right now, so even with the pick, they're not able to get much there. But yeah, like you said, they're approaching a 10k gold lead at this point, and what are you even supposed to do up against that Swark? Barely even able to find his own jungle camps.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to get caught out there, and the double AP dot might just take him down. He falls asleep just as the deer takes his life, and Bug, he's forced to flash away, but it looks like Zohair might have gone too far. He claims a double kill, but he is taken down in exchange. Reese's Pieces actually diving and picking up another kill. Arch here, his HP bar is pretty low. Cirrus, he managed to dodge out on that W. Reese's Pieces has to flash away as the Mega Gnar expires soon. It does expire, but it looks like Cirrus, he had to flash away from that hook. Kingsland flashing in to protect Reese's Pieces. It looks like Reese's Pieces and Arch, they have low HP bars, but their wallets are so fat.
Yeah, they are huge right now, barreling down this mid lane. So much power, even with Reese and Arch very low. They still want blood here in the mid lane. They're not going to be given that. And Series had a nice reaction time there against the Kingsland Flash, but it's going to take a little more than that. Kingsland and Swark, ships in the night, get out of each other's way there. And red buff's going to be stolen by Birds Aren't Real.
Almost 11k gold now, and might just extend further as a Kingsland. He finds an ultimate on 3. Swark going to have to ultimate as well. The Void Seeker connects onto Cirrus, but no cap on. Yeah, don't take that one. It's a trap. Nice. Yeah, now the gold lead extending to almost 11k gold, and with the Baron up, I can only imagine one thing. This means that Bar are going to reset, take their time to go towards that Baron. And when you have a fed Cassiopeia on 2 items as well as a Kaisa, I mean, that Baron is gone. It is, as soon as they are on in that pip, it's pretty much disappeared.
Yeah, exactly. Very, very quick one there. So that's something GFG have to keep tabs on, have to make sure that they are ready to respond if that Baron gets started or if anybody's ever anywhere near it here. Very, very dangerous and very volatile position, but birds aren't real. Well, yeah, it looks like they're going to take this one, right? You know, they have done all they need to do, all they need to now. The only thing left is to just kind of take it home, punch their ticket, but GFG have to start thinking about what went wrong this game. You know, how do we shut down? Oof, Bog just gets out of that one.
Scared
How do
me.
we shut down this mid laner? Arch just taking over the game. And of course, Zohair and Reese's pieces now also coming in pretty damn fed. How do we deal with this? What is our strategy up in this mid lane here?
Yeah, I completely agree. Oh, Dirty Phil actually managed to get that one, or maybe not, I'm not sure. As Dirty Phil, he's going to get 3 hit to death if he's not careful. The Ornhorn comes through. Sork is there for the follow-up, actually using the Stridebreaker dodge on, but he is going to connect the arrow, and that is the arrow that we were waiting for, but the Mega Gnar comes through, but the CC comes through as well, and that is going to be a shutdown, but it's on Dirty Phil, the worst person to get it on, as they take the Baron, and man, oh man, I would say that the pick is good, but honestly, I don't think it's good enough.
Trade offer. I get your top laner. You get Baron. Are we taking it? It's pretty clear what we want out of that one. So birds aren't real. Still coming out ahead. You know, GFG. I guess they got to make plays. We talked about their ability to make picks, and that was definitely a nice arrow from the Ashe. But giving up a huge objective like Baron there, it just feels a little bit desperate. So birds aren't real. Continue to build advantages. Continue to look for more objectives, and the dragon, speaking of objectives, is up in 50 seconds, so they're gonna be taking space around there. GFG have just almost no way to get in. They need another huge pick. They need one on one of the carries, I think, in order for them to even have a chance at this dragon.
I mean, even if you get a pick on a carry, I think as long as it's not Arch, you still win the fight. I think Arch is just so ridiculously massive now. 3 items. Oh my god. I mean, like he just assembled Exodia. Like he has all the cards in his hands, and they have the vision control. They have I don't know. It's really hard for GFG now. They have the hawk shot, so they can try to scout it out and sniff out where Bar might be hiding, but it's going to take a lot of coordination and a lot of missteps from Bar for GFG to not close this one out soon.
Baron minions pushing into the base, and most of BAR are on the way there, while you see Arch over in the Dragon Pit looking for that objective. As Dragon has spawned, it's just for free. All you need to do is create presence in the lane. You get that free Dragon. You are on soul point as birds aren't real, and the question is, where do they go from here? How far do they want to push their luck? And the base hasn't been broken just yet. They've got more work to do, but they are in a very, very good position to do it.
Absolutely. I mean, if I'm GFG there, if I see 4 mids and I don't see Arch, maybe I try to hawkshot and engage, but it looks like a Kingsland. He might be a little separated from his team there, but is he... The damage from over the wall is more than enough to take down Swark, or is it the ultimate comes through, and that is a massive sleep. Foreman. Only Zizzers is the only one awake right now as Reese's Pieces actually goes in. The Mega Gnar is available. I don't think you can engage on this Gnar, as it looks like it's just going to be a 1-for-1 for now. Support for jungler. You're going to take that as GFG, but it is very close.
Very close, and the key thing there, if we can look back at it, or even if we can't, is Zohair got a huge ultimate. You saw that 4-man sleep as we see the replay here, but look at Arch. See where you know that Arch is the main damage and has the flash but doesn't want to commit it. And look at this, just not really able to get that much damage down onto the team as they all get away. So there just isn't a carry available to do much in terms of, following up on that gigantic engage. So just a bit of a, positioning issue from BAR. Even with Zohair making a huge play, Arch just wasn't in position to follow up.
I think you should have committed the flash. I'm gonna be honest. I think that was the right play there. It's like there's no way you lose this fight. You're way too far ahead, and with the amount of crowd control that you have, you're more than safe. And even if you get engaged on and you die, it's fine. You still have your Kaisa. As that is the funniest trap I've ever seen. As Sorky tries to take his red buff, he's most likely going to die for it.
He did
Actually,
get
he's
it,
tanking quite a bit of damage. No cap, only gap. He's going to use the Gale Force to claim that final kill as Reese's Pieces. He goes mega, but that's all there is for now. And Dirty Phil, he's sad. I mean, he hasn't even gotten to dish out an ornament yet, and it feels like the game is already over.
Yeah, it definitely does. It's, if you're going to be
The
honest,
arrow
it's felt
comes
over for a
through.
while. Arch, though.
Oh,
Oh,
that is
no.
so sad. The miasma blocks the Ornhorn, and now
Wow.
he has to flash over the wall. Bog, he uses his flash, and Arch, perfect play there. The micro is absolutely beautiful as the Kingsland just
Hello?
suicides. I mean, sure,
Okay.
honestly, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't
Go
matter that
for it,
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to bring it back to Arch because that was so clean. He dodges out on that Ash arrow, and then he miasmas Dirty Phil so that he can't get the Ornhorn out as they're just protecting their base, trying to turtle as hard as they can, but is it going to be enough? Still hovering around 11k gold. So at least the good news is it hasn't ballooned out of that, but 11k gold is pretty much all you need to close the game
I
out.
think 11k gold might be enough. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
Arch is just styling on him at this point with the, the preventing the Orn, call the Forge God from coming through with the miasma, just being able to push so far up and somehow not getting picked, dodging out of the enchanted crystal arrow. Arch is putting on a clinic right now, and Bar are paying off or getting paid off for it because 16-4 with an 11,000 gold lead feels a bit insurmountable. Baron is up in less than a minute, so that's going to be the next objective, and 1:34 is the time on the Infernal Dragon, which would be the fourth for Birds Aren't Real. So that's going to be something to watch out for here. GFG are doing about what they can. Like you said, the gold lead hasn't ballooned much more. They're playing safe. They haven't allowed any inhibitors to go down just yet, and they're trying to find picks where they can, but it feels like even if Birds Aren't Real make mistakes, even if they play quite suboptimally, I still don't see a really clear way for GFG to find their way back into this.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, really tough, right? I mean, you saw them try to execute kind of on their game plan, which is get that long range engage and that pick potential with the Ash Arrow. But it's just so hard, man. It's like the wallets and the summoner and the pressure advantage is so massive. Getting a pick becomes very difficult as the Enchanted Crystal Arrow is not going to connect again.
Yep.
And Arch still has his flash.
You got to start tossing them out, right? Like I like what Zizzers is doing. You need something like that. You need a pick on Arch.
Yep.
You just, if the Enchanted Crystal Arrow comes up, you send it in Arch's direction no matter what. You try to get players nearby to follow up. I think it's what GFG should be doing. It's just such a low percentage play, unfortunately, that it doesn't feel like it's likely to work.
No, I agree with you. I think that at this point, the gambles are the only way to work. As Dirty Phil, again, outplaying Reese's Pieces
Every time.
Yeah, it's the skill check has been going in favor of Dirty Phil often, as it looks like GFG are actually looking for a bush trap, but
Bolt
you're not
comes
the
in.
ones being trapped as the sleep comes in and the dot is disgusting. Of course, you do not get awakened by dots as now, no cap, only gap. This is his moment. He has a double kill already. He ults in, and that is going to be the triple kill series. He's running for his life. The flash away. Reese's Pieces here. He's a bit caught, but he's most likely going to be fine as Series and Dirty Phil now. The Ornhard comes through, but it's most likely not going to be enough. No cap, only gap. He flashes in with the Acathian Rain, but he autos the Horde once, and he is going to take the fourth kill of an unofficial quadra kill, but pretty funny there, not going to lie, autoing that controlled Horde once. As the hug connects with Cirrus, but there's no damage to follow it up with. No cap and only gap. No cap and only gap, yeah, for sure. No cap, only gap,
I'm
and
just calling him no cap at this point. I'm giving
Yeah.
up on the full name, but in any case, definitely no cap on that play. He is gapping them right now with that Kai'Sa. Amazing work there, and it's all off the back of some great engagements by Zohair and Arch, as well as Kingsland finding that CC. That's the Infernal Dragon coming back, and yeah, they weren't able to push to end off of that fight because the kills were a little spread out, but they'll take the Infernal Soul. I think that's not a bad trade there, and they are 13,000 gold in the lead right now with the Baron up and GFG with no way to find it.
Yep, and now Arch is pretty much at Infinitely Gauntlet status as he has assembled 4 items, a stopwatch, and an Infernal Soul.
Yeah.
So he is Astro Dangerous. He is, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't even have the words to describe just how strong he is right now.
He is a cosmic existential threat to GFG right
Yeah.
now. It's not even, it's beyond their comprehension what Arch is able to do. He doesn't have a flash. So once again, you got to keep sending those arrows at him. Just keep going for those Hail Marys at this point. I think it's kind of their only option. Now the Baron gets started up, and the question is, do they even try to contest here?
It looks like they're going to try as, oh my lord, Reese's Pieces finds an absolutely massive engage as well as the follow-up from the Lilia. Just so much damage, and this might just be the third game for Bar. That was the most disgusting combo I've ever seen, and that was only 2 champions. That was like 2 abilities, and half of their HP bars exploded. That was a Mega Gnar onto 4 as well as the Swirling Seed, and they just exploded.
Replay as they march down the base here, and yeah, well, let's just take a look at this again. This is
Look, the Swirling
glorious.
Seed. Oh.
Unreal. The Swirl Seed for the ult, and they're going to finish this one right off. Birds Aren't Real are on match point of the grand finals.
Finishing the third game with a bang. That was an absolutely beautiful, disgusting team fight to end the game with, as now Bar and GFG, Bar, they take the lead. GFG trying to pull up some kind of spicy picks, but not managing to execute it flawlessly. We're going to bring it back to our Red Bull analyst desk.
Before we do that, I think we're going to take a
Oh.
quick break just because I don't want to make the analysts ramble on about this game for too long. So let's take a quick break and get the players back in. Birds Aren't Real are on match point right now. We are about to go into game 4 of the CECS Grand Finals. We'll see you in just a bit.